This episode of the Restoration Today podcast is brought to you by Core Group. Learn how to become a Core member today. Core is the fastest growing contractor group in North America, offering world-class networking opportunities, unparalleled sales and marketing expertise, while being part of a mastermind community that will grow your organization to new heights. Learn more by visiting us at gowithcore.com/membership. Hey restorers, thanks for checking out a fresh episode of the Restoration Today podcast. Today I'm very excited to be joined by three gentlemen from something that's new. There was a big announcement in April, right around the time of the RIA convention, about Guardian Restoration Partners, and they are backed by the PE firm Alpine Investors. I have three of the companies that are kind of the founders of Guardian Restoration Partners here, which is really exciting. So we have Robert Horne, who is with DryLux, Matthew Sharpe from Dry Kings, and Coyne Borree from Midwest Restoration. So it's an interesting group of companies because they are from everywhere: San Francisco, the Midwest, being in Wisconsin, Arizona. So kind of companies from everywhere. And this is a time when PE interest keeps growing in the industry and the market consolidation keeps happening. And this is another way that we're seeing more and more restoration companies kind of go and trying to find companies that are like-minded and kind of come together to stay independent and growing on their own, but also together with strategic partnerships like this. So, gentlemen, thank you very much for being here. So I am going to toss it over to Mr. Sharpe first to kind of introduce himself and share the background of Dry Kings.
Hi, my name is Matthew Sharpe with Dry Kings Restoration out here in San Francisco, California. So we have about 30 employees and just been having huge growth the last few years. We've been doing this for our 9th year, and my wife and I run the company together, and it's just been taking off. So excited to be here.
Perfect. Okay. All right. Robert, DryLux, how about you?
Hi. So my name is Robert Horne. One of the founders of DryLux Restoration. We started back in 2007. We run about 70 trucks and about 100 employees. Cover all Phoenix metro area.
Okay, very good. All right, and Coyne.
First of all, Michelle, again, thanks for having us.
Sure.
I've followed you, and I feel like I'm talking to a celebrity here myself within the industry, so that's pretty cool. But no, all right. My name's Coyne, just south of Green Bay, Wisconsin. Started Midwest Restoration in 2008. That started myself on my crummy little 2-car garage, just knocking on insurance agents' doors, trying to tell them that we're better than everybody else. And 16 years later, we're at 32 associates right now. So again, thanks for having me here, and looking forward to it.
Very good. Go Pack Go. I'm a Youper, so I grew up like very close to Green Bay, and Go Pack Go is all I
like it.
Yes. Okay. All right. So I'm curious in hearing the background of each of you of getting involved with Alpine Investors. So I'm going to kind of start, I guess, Robert, let's start with you on this one. Were you approached by prior companies to sell in the market in the last few years? And what kind of led you down this path with Alpine to start Guardian?
Great question. So last December, we're the way we run our company, we're pretty low key. And so we weren't getting very much attention from private equity at that point. There was a guy that I worked with in the industry back before I had my own company that sold his company back last December, not this December, back in 2022.
Okay.
And so once we heard he sold, we, kind of thought, all right, this might be an option. And that's kind of where our journey kind of started. And I went to lunch with him, and he kind of explained the whole process and what was going on. And then we kind of started to educate ourselves in the industry and so forth like that. And so we weren't getting very much attention until we kind of started seeking it, but that's also because we're a pretty low key company. And once we started, looking, then absolutely there was a lot of attention. And it's kind of the school of hard knocks. We didn't have a broker representing us or anything. And so we were just meeting with different groups, and we were getting different offers, different situations and so forth. But yeah, so it was definitely, 0 to 100 pretty quick. And, last year was pretty crazy with how fast things moved once we got into that world of private equity.
So what stood out to you as being different with Alpine versus other people that were maybe courting you or interested in maybe buying DryLux?
Yeah, great question. So it's definitely a different world and something that we were not used to. And so in the very beginning, we met with a few different companies and had a couple different offers, and they just didn't feel right. Offers were, didn't make sense for monetary reasons and other reasons. And then also personalities. They weren't making, they weren't connecting with us. And so we ended up doing an LOI with another platform, and for reasons rather not be said, we didn't end up closing on that deal. Mm-hmm. And throughout that process, hindsight, was a long process, and I'm kind of very thankful that that deal did not close, and things did not work out. But so after we did that, then that's when the first time we talked to Alpine, and Alpine was a different feel from all these other different groups. And they were first very straightforward. They did what they said they were going to do. They were very transparent on what their game plan was. And from the very beginning, from once we made initial contact to the end, it was only about 90 days. And it was very, very quick, very, very well done, very, very, very professional. And nothing but good things to say about them right now. So it was a great experience with them. And the things that we went through prior to get to them, I think were good, and they were a good experience for us. Nothing against anyone that we talked to beforehand, but I'm very thankful that Alpine, that led to Alpine, and we were able to join Guardian and the team there, and it's been great so far.
Awesome. Okay, perfect. Okay, so Coyne, I'm going to shift it back to you. Kind of same questions to you, starting with the what has the landscape been like for you at Midwest the last few years? Have you been approached by a lot of companies, and what kind of led you down the path with Alpine?
We have, yeah. I think when I first started getting those emails, when the PE game kind of got in the surface, or on the platform here, that I think there might have been an email every other day for something, and was it spam or whatnot. And I finally entertained one of them. Sent over some preliminary numbers. Everybody was really interested. Let's keep talking. Let's fly you down here, fly you down here. Let's court you for this and bring you out to expensive dinners and hotels, and that's all cool. But when it came to rubber meeting the road, it was like they told you everything they wanted to hear, and then all of a sudden it was like a surprise. Just a heads up, we're going to change the name of the company. We're going to centralize the marketing. We're going to centralize the HR. We're going to centralize some stuff to save cost. And it was almost like, I think if people have had some, like the nightmare stories out there about private equity, that's kind of what it was. And that was my first impression of it. So very, very turned off by it. A year later, I, for some reason, entertained another company, kind of the strike two, same thing. And this one felt all good. And then promises were there, LOI there. And then all of a sudden the offer dropped 40%, as soon as they wanted us to sign the paperwork. So I was done. I was done in the PE world. I was officially done. We're doing well. We're successful, and people are making money, and associates are happy, loving their career here, and my family is happy too. So why would I even do this? So Alpine reached out, saying, let's talk. We're really interested. And, I gave them not interested. Sorry. Came back again. And I think one of the things I said, if you guys are this serious, I'll believe it when I see you in person. And this was around the holiday. So this is maybe a week before Christmas. And next thing you know, I get an email with an itinerary for a flight a week after Christmas saying, yes, we're serious. We really want to talk to you. We do what we say. Long story short, they were here a week after Christmas. And again, similar story to Robert, that, under 90 days, we're now we're a family, right? So started off pretty negative in the PE world for me, but it's definitely I'm a huge fan of it, and a huge fan of Alpine and Guardian on this side of things.
That is incredibly fast. This is the first time that I've heard, I think, stories of, and I've heard a lot of stories about acquisitions or PE interest in 90 days is really fast. So that's great for all of you, I'm sure. Less nerves in the process.
Yeah, I mean, I got to give if I'm going rogue here, you tell me to stop. But
nope, you're okay.
I think I got to plug Alpine too. That I think the difference of them versus the other two companies, obviously, in their do what you say what you do. But also there's definitely my values. It's people first mentality.
Yeah.
Every associate here, I have a promise to make sure there's a paycheck on their table and their family's fed. And that's what Alpine told me they work for. They're all people first mentality. That's what they stand for. If you find the right people, develop them into leaders and put leaders in the right spot, the revenue, the profits, the culture, everything else is going to follow in line. And so far, that's exactly what it is. And I couldn't have made. I'm so glad that the first few things did not go through. And I'm 100% confident that this is what was meant to be.
Awesome. Perfect. Okay, Matthew, your turn. Let's talk about Dry Kings and kind of what the journey's been like for you. Have you been approached a lot before this? What makes Alpine different? What made you decide to go this direction?
Yeah, so we've got quite a lot of emails from people interested in buying. I'm sure many of the other owners out there have been experiencing that. And so, of course, you go to the RIA events, you see different buyers out there and all over the forums. And so, we were kind of more in the process for about a year, interviewing different people. Our company was growing so fast, so it was a kind of a timing issue because a lot of times the buyers just want to buy you whatever your profits are at that moment, not necessarily for your growth, obviously. So you have to, pick a good time. So we came ready and entertained a few offers, and they were, kind of lower at first. And then when we got more serious, when we hit the right point, we were, like the other guy said, we felt that the culture wasn't really the right culture fit. As everybody knows, sometimes private equity or investors are known for maybe cutting cost or not offering much support, or maybe not have a big background, have a few companies or more starting out. And so, but ideally for us, it was all about the employees that we have matter to us, because they poured some of them have been with us long term, have poured their lives into our company and us, and we wanted to make sure their career could continue on. Our commitment to our employees is that they could have a future career growth with us. And so wanting the right partnership that did that as well. And like they said, have a people first approach. And so, very culturally aligned. And they were saying they're not going to come in and cut, people out and cut costs, or they also really believe in organic, healthy growth. And so they were having a conference about the time we were meeting them. So my wife and I drove to San Francisco. They have a big skyscraper, one of their offices downtown. And we personally met the owner, and just a real casual, nice guy. And just everybody were just relatable and real good human beings, hardworking, honest. And so they had a big Alpine nationwide event in Napa, and it was all about organic growth, which is how we built our company on, very relational, caring about people, doing excellent work. And so, all of our values really aligned. And everybody we met was great, and all their promises they've held to us. And we haven't had one employee leave since the partnership. And they brought a GM in right away, which was different than most other what we heard from anyone else. And he really aligned with our people, and all of our upper management have really liked him. So they really wanted us included in that process to see if it would be a good fit, have a say and all that. So far, we've just been thrilled, and really felt that they are the real deal. And of course, their track record of, sure everyone knows, Alpine's restoration branch is Guardian, but Alpine has had a largest plumbing holders in the world, because they had the largest in America. So great track record of successful building of plumbing companies, HVAC, roofing. And so that's just very appealing to keep the success of Dry Kings going forward.
Perfect. Okay, Robert and Coyne, I'm going to ask you the same question. So this will give you a minute to think about it because I'm going to ask Matthew first. But what is the number one piece of advice now that you've gone through this that you would give other restoration companies who are thinking, man, I don't know if I should get involved with a company like this. Like maybe I should explore my options for kind of vetting the different options out there when you are getting approached by PE or one of the big companies in the industry to be fully acquired. What is your number one piece of advice for fellow owners that are getting approached by these companies? So Matthew, you take it first.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would definitely talk to other owners about who have sold. I think I called probably about 10, maybe even a dozen different owners and, explain the partnership and they explained theirs. And, it's just so helpful because there's all different kinds of partnership ways you can go about it and effects that have on the company, on the owner. We've heard, for example, some partnerships where now you have to not just run your location, you're responsible for all the locations around you. So, all different kinds of things. Obviously, people know probably you can partially sell, maybe fully, and there's all different amounts of things. One big one is, who do they bring in? Do they bring in GM? What kind of services and support does the private equity or whoever the buyer is offer that? So there's all different kinds of fits, for that. We searched the route of employee owned, because this is a great option. There's individual buyers that'll buy. I mean, you can owner finance, all different kinds of stuff. So a lot of owners get excited about, partially selling. So they get a partial payout. And then, that private equity or whoever's buying you can take that company next level and you can still make that money up potentially in the future. So yeah, there's all different kinds of avenues. And so if you talk to other owners that sell, you'll get a whole load of information and give you a clearer picture to buy. We also worked with a broker in our case. So some sell without a broker. There's obviously a cost to it. And, he had a lot of experience. It was very helpful for us going through the due diligence phase. Shout out to JT out there. And so obviously they have a lot of relationships to help, through that process, can get more offers. And they also really gave a lot of guidance. And in this case, again, shout out to JT Gray, if anyone's interested, but he realized that, we were in a growth phase and he didn't pressure us to buy. And so he was like guiding us through that growth. And then when the right time to sell, and when it was the right time to sell, he was with us in that whole process. And if the, potential buyers weren't right, he didn't pressure us to go through with them. He confirmed our feelings and our thoughts there and held back. So I get a really good broker, but they can appraise the value of your company, where it stands, explain how selling goes, what things you can do to be easier to sell or get the goals you want, help negotiate for you. So most brokers, I'm sure, will give you a free appraisal and a free consultation and then talk to a bunch of owners. And we've already been called to about 10 times by different owners. Hey, how'd the sale go? What happened? Give me some advice. What do I need to do? So yeah, very exciting time for the industry.
Awesome. Okay. All right, Robert, what would be your biggest piece of advice, especially because it sounds like you did the whole process without a broker. So that's kind of the flip side of all of this. So what would be your big piece of advice for other owners?
Yeah, I don't know if I'd recommend that the way I did it. This is kind of how I am and who I am. I wanted to kind of learn it. So, but I think you can't be just attracted to the number. My culture and what we built here, it feels like family to me. We got a lot of employees here, and you are going to be selling your company and you are going to lose some aspects of control. And because of that, you're going to need to make sure it's with the right group, especially if you care about your team. And if you feel like you are not the right match, I would go with your gut. And if it feels like they're going to do things that are not gonna help your team out and help your company, I would go with what your feeling is and follow it. Overall, we reached out to quite a few what different groups that we did. We always reach out to other acquisitions. I would do my research online. I would ask for different opinions and so forth. And like I said, I talked to another guy that sold to a different platform and got his opinions on it. I'd say ask the questions for sure, because it's a big decision.
Mhm.
And overall, what turned me to choose Guardian and Alpine was, they were not trying to change their brand name. They were trying to help us give more opportunity for our employees to grow. They were going to bring expertise and help. We welcome all the help we can get, with great, they brought in a GM, which is phenomenal and already doing great things for us. They brought in a new controller for us that's helping us with our financial end of it. They're giving us guidance, they're giving us help, they're helping us with tech stack. And all this is going to allow us to grow at a faster pace than we were going to do and give other opportunities to our employees. And, I'm at a point in my life where I enjoy watching my employees grow and develop, not only, within the work environment, but also in their personal lives and so forth. And so that was very important to us. And, um, you know, I, I would just say make sure if it doesn't feel right, you trust your feelings and you ask more questions to try to understand it. Don't be scared to ask the questions. Don't be scared to ask the hard questions. And if it feels right, go for it. If it doesn't, I would trust your feelings. And but yeah, definitely call the people that have worked with him in the past. And I would also call the ones that and ask them the questions and say, hey, what deals were not closed after LOI? And we ask for those contacts and find out the reasoning on that, because if you just talk to the ones that closed, that's one thing, but I would definitely ask for the ones that did not end up, going through, so you can get their opinions and their experiences, what went wrong. And, but yeah.
Okay, great answer. Okay, so Coyne, this is kind of a double-sided question now. Did you have a broker? We have to know that now at this point. Did you have a broker, and what advice would you give others?
Well, after Matthew and Robert here, I don't have a whole lot more to say.
That's okay.
But yeah, so broker, I did not do it with, the first couple of deals I was talking to, PE companies didn't have one. I was just, like I said, email clickbait kind of thing and went from there.
Yeah.
Both obviously fell through or just didn't go the right way. Who knows? It might have been different if we had a broker. Again, everything happens for a reason. I'm glad they didn't.
Yep.
But yes, I had hired a broker. I had personally known him a couple of years before that as well. So I know for sure he had my best interest at hand. I would 100% recommend doing that. Both parties don't hire the same attorney when they go to court, right? So I would definitely do that. That's what they're paid for. Second, yes, hire broker. Number two, I don't know. I think what people have to remember is that, again, if people are coming to you for maybe a potential acquisition information on things, you got to remember that you're the prettiest girl to dance, right? So make sure that this is on your, like Robert said, make sure it's on your terms, not unreasonable terms, but remember, you built this company around your core values, ethics, reputation, and unless somebody's got a failing business and getting out of the industry, you can't change that. Compared to relationship. If you're engaged and you're not absolutely happy with the terms of the partner you're with, then I'm sure as hell not walking up the aisle. Don't get married. Like I said, you make sure when you do that you're going to start off with a bang and you're going to hit the ground running and have a really good relationship after that. Nobody wants to close a deal and then not be 100% happy with things, because you're not going to deliver a quality product back to the investment company. So that's all I got for that.
Okay, so follow up to that, which Robert has touched on a little bit about things that are changing versus not changing. So Robert had mentioned like new controller, tech stack, different changes in investments that Alpine has been able to bring in. So Coyne, from your perspective, what are some of the things that are changing? Because it sounds like more is staying the same than is changing. So what are some of the good changes that are coming in, and also what gets to stay the same from going this direction?
I guess whether it be changes or not, let's put this out there. From day one, Alpine has told us, hey, they're not restorers, right? They're private equity. So they're not going to come in here and tell us how to, hey, you guys messed up the psychometrics on this drawing job. Do better, right?
Yeah.
They're not going to do that. Like you said, their goal is to help us grow the company, improve the culture, and just overall people and the values. So when I say not much has changed, I mean, not much has changed. Maybe a signer on a bank account, but when I say not much has changed, it's all good stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Changes, I have less stress. I'm sleeping better. I can guarantee I'm a better boss because less stress, sleeping better makes those more confident guy coming to work every day. And I think one thing too is that it's when you're genuine, when you're happy and smiling, and you don't have to make a sale. That's when you make the sale. So,
Yes.
like I said, it's been cool here. Everything that they have said they've done. Our staff is, right away with the announcement, it's probably 80% really glad, 20% unsure, but it's 100% on board right now. Everybody's moving forward, excited, and to really start taking over our area as well. Did I go off that question? Did I go off of that, Michelle, or did I miss something?
No,
Yeah.
you answered it exactly right. And I love that you brought in even like how things changed for the better. Because I think sometimes when people hear like what changed, they think of, especially in these situations, things that are changing that you don't want to change. But I love that your answers were actually, no, these are the things that are changing, but they're all for the better, not for the worse.
I mean, personally for us too, and it's no secret, I do not like being behind a desk. If I'm talking to Michelle, maybe on a podcast, I'm good with it, but not. We started this company, we all started as technicians, right? So nobody bought this from their dad or inherited this company. So that's what we like doing, right? Like, so I want to be in the field. I want to be in business development, sales. I want to be in operations, training guys how to do stuff the way I think it should be done. So they listen, right? They're bringing in a GM for us that it will allow me to go out and do the stuff that I want to, you want to love your job.
Mm-hmm.
And, compared to, I think Robert or Ben might have said something in Dallas that, it's like the Tom Brady thing, right? Like the guy had an amazing career, crushed everything, won Super Bowls, and then not getting burnt out. But what does he do now? So then he goes to a different team and starts all over, crushes it all over again. So I don't know. We're really looking forward to the Tom Brady approach and just building this company again. It's a new step right now, a new ground floor per se, and we're excited, man. Everybody's excited in this sense.
That's good. Awesome. That's another good point, I guess. Okay. I could go on a tangent on that one, but I'm not going to. Not yet. Okay. So Matthew, I'm going to kick this one to you. What things have changed for the better, maybe for the worse, but it sounds like mostly for the better, and what's staying the same?
Yeah, great question. One of the things we liked about Alpine and Guardian is that they wanted to keep your local brand. So they really believe in the strength of the local brand. So we like our name, so we would prefer it have not been changed to a franchise name if possible. And so, so the name is staying the same, the big name and branding on our building. And they also, with that, keeping our building because they believe in the local brand and location. So, potentially another buyer, if they have a building nearby, they might merge, over to that, but we own our building. So they're keeping our building. So all of those things, again, our staff is all staying the same. Some of them have gotten raises, even, and so some changes. They brought in a general manager that we mentioned before, has been a really awesome fit, former military guy, and just dove right in. And like Coyne said, just a lot less stress and worry about all those things you worry about when it's your liability and name and bank accounts. And so, we've been working at finding the right business developer for about a year. So their support has backed us to get a more higher caliber person than maybe we would have invested into before. So we have a awesome business developer, high level tech guy that did amazing things for Trulia coming in. Trulia real estate website company coming in a couple days here. So, they're it's a process of changing. They're looking into softwares, what they call a tech stack. So eventually they may keep the software we're using. They may bring another one in, but for the most part, it's like Coyne said, the same great old company, and just having more. It's also nice when you're the owner and the buck stops with you. You have somebody you can call. So they have a CEO, a platform CEO. There's the president. There's other great guys that work with Alpine, and they're all exchanging emails, asking for our advice, and then a lot of the general managers have been able to call the other general managers of the partner companies. And so my wife got to meet Coyne and Robert at the RAA. So it's like turning into a bigger family, and we can pick each other's brains, and then they pick information, what works there, and brings it to us. So it's the whole group of people, and people can go up the chain now. So it's just all of us kind of carrying the weight together, and that's just been a joy and a relief, and very nice to have a good change of pace there.
Awesome. Great answer. Okay, Robert, your turn. What's changed? What stays the same? How's it going so far?
It's going great so far. So what's changed? Not too drastic on operations wise. We got we have it. We, believe it or not, we did not have a website when we were acquired, and so we got a website now. We got an online presence. We have now a general manager, which, like I said, I welcome all the help I could get, and he's been a great help. And we were very involved with the interviewing and making sure he was the right fit. This guy fits amazing. He fits into the DryLux family great. He's been a great addition. He's taken a load of stress off my shoulders on some of the day-to-day stuff. We got a new controller in here, which has taken a lot of the financial stresses and so forth like that, and the reporting aspect off my shoulders. With teaming up with private equity, they're going to want growth. And if they put that all on my shoulders, that's a lot. That's a big task. And what I do appreciate is from the very beginning, they were bringing in very qualified, good fit people to our company to help lead that growth. And because of that, it has not added extra stress on us. And we are able to, like Coyne said, he's happy, right? There's a load of stress taken off, which is really real. And because of it, we are able to continue to enjoy our jobs. We're going to continue to grow the business and create a better environment. And we got help brought in that was led by Alpine. And Alpine, they're great because they do have like CEO and training things. They prep for these type of situations because they're already planning for it. And that's one of the good things that turned me on to Alpine is, they're notorious for training beforehand to bring people in that are ready to be plug and play. And we saw it firsthand. So Rob Ryan, our GM's phenomenal fit. Jose, our controller's phenomenal fit. We are already seeing growth in we sold in last December. And so we're going 5 months into this, and we're already seeing great growth. And it's because, they brought in the help. And I think what else? We got this other family. We got Matt and Coyne. That there is a true benefit for that. We've had many conversations, and it's amazing because these guys have built amazing businesses and different models than ours, and they can share freely with us what is working and not working, and we can share freely with them our marketing strategy, and it's amazing. And so, got a good relationship. It's a good family feel. We all are able to learn from each other, and it feels like you got a good team here. So no bad yet. There might be something eventually that I'm not too happy about, but we're growing in the right way, and the additions have been a great fit, and we were very involved with it, and so it's been a good experience so far.
Awesome. Okay, so I'm not sure who the best person is to answer this yet, so I'm going to toss it out there, and whoever wants to answer can. Where does this go from here? What is the goal of Guardian Restoration Partners and Alpine above that from here? Do you hope to add more companies to the fold? Kind of what's the goal here moving forward now that there's 3 of you?
Oh, geez. Go with somebody else.
Matthew, go.
Yeah, they're working hard to create a big empire. So anybody wants to join the family, they're come reach out to the team or any of us, and we'll pass you along. But yeah, they're wanting to heavily move in here and build a big family.
Perfect. Okay. All right. I like to end on kind of like a high note. So I'm going to toss this question out here. And then again, whoever wants to go first can, because sometimes it takes people a minute to jog their memories. But before I wrap up podcasts, especially with restorers, I love to ask a favorite story. It doesn't have to be from your time with Guardian now. It could be throughout your company, like a favorite maybe job that your company has worked on, your team has worked on, something that was impactful in a certain way or just interesting, whatever it may be, like just a job or something from your career in restoration so far that really stands out as like that was kind of a big career or company moment. So who wants to take that one first?
I can jump on this one, Michelle. It's very,
Okay.
very simple to me and kind of near to my heart too. So, what was it? We started in 2008. Let's just say it was around the 2013, 14 ish. So, which 2008 is the best time to start a business, right? But
Perfect. Yeah.
So, at that time, I'm 42 now. So I think I started the company, I was 24. At the time I was 29, 30 that, I think we always walked into the jobs thinking like, man, this is a huge mitigation job. This is $100,000 job, right? We're going to be able to fund another truck from this one, or this is a great Christmas party money, or whatever it might be. And I don't know what it was or why it was, but we walked into a fire and I was there on site as, when I was the PM, I was still the marketing guy, I was still everything. And it was the first time that, this homeowner, she was sitting there 9 months pregnant crying, and her husband sitting outside too, basically just watched their house burn down. And I just remember, for some reason, whatever it was, I just gave this woman a hug and said, hey, it's going to be okay. And it's the first time I think I looked at a job that I didn't look at it as, hey, this is X amount of dollars, this is revenue. I looked at it as, man, I can't wait to do this for you guys, help you out. And I can't wait to show you before and after pictures. It's going to be okay. And from that point forward, we stopped, you always had to recognize revenue and projections, but from that point forward, we stopped looking at it as a number, and we stopped being robotic about stuff, and, we're real people. So from that point forward, I'm telling you, like, the growth literally went from where we was pretty much an average privately owned small company to that's when we started really doubling in size every 2-3 years. And again, just case in point that, if you put everybody else's interests at hand first before the company's, like you said, everything's going to fall in place. So let's do it right. Let's do what's right for our associates and our customers before we do what's right for us, and it will fall full circle for you.
Awesome. Okay. Well, sorry, Matthew and Robert, I'll have to trump that because that's a great, like, defining moment in a business journey. I love it. So who wants to go next?
I guess I'll take the lead. I'll kind of just do a funny one here. So, and this is kind of applicable to our conversation here. So, my first conversation with Alpine, that was a kind of a funny conversation. I was just a phone call, and we're just having some quick talking and going over it. And the guy I was speaking to, he was just like, all right, we're looking to acquire our first acquisition and restoration platform second quarter of this year. So about this time this year. And I just said, okay, well, we'll probably be sold by then, so I don't know if this is going to work, and, kudos to Alpine. He very quickly said, we could speed this up, because it looked like a conversation was going really, really well beforehand. And so it was pretty funny because they weren't ready when, they were doing their initial analysis of the industry and stuff like that. And the rest is history. So it's kind of cool to see them jump 0 to 100 real quick and get our deal closed so quickly. But that's how the conversation started. It was like, okay, well, we won't. And now look at us now. We're 3 acquisitions and many more, I'm sure, on the way. And they weren't even really plan on starting this till this time this year. So it was a good push, I guess. And that's a funny little story about it.
You help put the pressure on. I guess we can speed this up a little.
I
love it. All right, Matthew.
So big defining moment, correct?
Yep. Or
Yeah,
a funny story or whatever.
The big one is obviously that I'm sure most of us are familiar with, is COVID hit. So we had actually just made big moves to get out of our house, rent our first office space. We wanted to rent a bigger office space at the time to grow into because the company was growing so fast. Bam, COVID hit. And we're in California. Everybody, I'm sure, knows that they almost brought in the National Guard to shut down the Golden Gate Bridge and lock us all in militarily. They didn't get to that point, but that was what was on the verge to the level of shutdown. So our company, luckily being a restoration, we were all essential services. So a lot of people jumped into cleaning COVID, and there's a lot of legality of that. That was a little scary, whether or not there's lawsuits, coming from that. But we were able to at least get to people's houses. So half our company was commercial at the time, and commercial was just dead in the water. But everybody's packed in houses, so house claims went up, and it was opportunity. We many different industries, the business owners would like let their guys all go and kind of keep the PPE money, but we said, hey, we're going to invest in our employees, even if that means we shut down the company. We just invested a lot, but we're going to go all in. So we gave everybody endless ICRC training and just train our team to the max, and hired a bunch of people. And we, used the PPE money to survive, and we weathered that storm. And then the company just took off after. So I think the big point of the story is when the hardest times face you, I said there's always a belief that challenges arise, you can either like fight through it and get stronger or go under. And so every time you guys face challenges, business owners, use it to level up, whatever economic issues, COVID, even if half your team quits or all your team quits one day, like, hey, I'm going to learn to build teams really fast, and everything you do, you overcome, makes you stronger and stronger. But that was a real defining moment, I'm sure, for all of us, but definitely for us. So
fight through and get stronger or go under. All right. That's a perfect note, I suppose, to end this on. Anything else that any of you want to add? I appreciate you gentlemen joining me and having a conversation with me, sharing a little bit more about Guardian Restoration Partners. I know that the industry is curious when these new kind of companies and PE groups come in, like, what's going on? Who's doing this over here? What's going on? So thank you very much for being here. Anything that any of you want to add before we wrap it up?
Good. Again, I'm just thankful to be here. I feel like I'm a damn celebrity. So this is pretty cool.
Awesome.
I would
Go
say
ahead, Matthew.
Yourself, get a lawyer, a really good lawyer. So I don't know if that's a given, but someone that does business transactions, I'm sure either of us could refer one, but definitely someone that's bought and sold multiple companies. But everyone knows lawyers are really professional negotiators, so they'll do a big part. Especially if you don't have a broker, I would definitely have a good lawyer, because there's a lot of complicated technical things, and you're really signing a lot of your life away. Your company is known as your baby, so you want to make sure that nothing's in a bad position for you. And again, a great shout out to Alpine Guardian, that they're really trustworthy people that weren't leveraging the technicalities of the deal to take advantage of us. There are some kind of hidden areas that can be a surprise, apart from the original amount you agree on. And so a lot of technicalities get worked out as, sometimes deals fall through. But Alpine was very reasonable, much more than others, I would assume, in, all that process, that negotiation, technicalities to the end. And we had a really great lawyer that obviously the broker can help facilitate a lawyer too, but a broker is not a lawyer, so they leave the legality to the lawyer. So I know, have a really good lawyer, talk to a few lawyers, and have a good legal side on your team.
Perfect. Robert, anything else?
Nothing too much, man. If you're interested in selling, come join our team. So, and
Okay.
we welcome all the people we can get. So.
Awesome. Well, gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. Congrats on creating Guardian Restoration Partners. I look forward to seeing where y'all go from here, and have a great rest of your day.
Good. Thanks.
Thank you.
For more Restoration Today and the latest news, visit our website, cnrmagazine.com, and find the latest episodes of the Restoration Today podcast on your favorite podcasting platform.